My name is Richard Darlington. I'm currently taking Fundamentals of Physics through Full Sail University in the Audio Production program. In this podcast, I'm going to discuss how to use current, resistance, and Ohm's law in choosing the right amp for your speakers or vice versa. Ohm's law states that the current through a conductor between 2 points is directly proportional to the potential difference across the 2 points. In this presentation, I will show you how this relates to my degree field. Each speaker should have a rating label on the back, typically, that should say something like this. This speaker is rated at 350 watts continuous at 8 ohms. Yours may be more, yours may be less. However, it is very important to look at that label before beginning. The next thing you need to determine is how many speakers you're wanting to use for one amp. If each speaker is as mentioned as before, 350 watts continuous at 8 ohms, then if we are running one speaker, we would only need an amp that supplies that power, 350 watts at 8 ohms. If we are running two speakers at the same rating, we would need at least an amp to push 4 ohms at 700 watts. Notice how the ohms were divided and the watts were multiplied. We have two speakers. If we are running three speakers at the same rating, we would need an amp that can supply at least 2.6 ohms at 1050 watts. Again, notice how we have three speakers, so the ohms were divided by 3, however the watts were multiplied by 3. If we were running 4 speakers through one amp, we would at least need an amp that could push 1400 watts at 2 ohms. Again, we have 4 speakers, so the ohms were divided by 2 and the watts were multiplied. The ohms were divided by 4 for 4 speakers and the watts were multiplied by 4 for 4 speakers. Keep in mind that this is the bare minimum of an amp that you would need. I do, however, recommend giving yourself about 10 to 20% leeway on extra just in case. Remember to check it before you crank it. When setting up a live event, one must know the proper limits of your speakers and amps so that your equipment does not fail. Thank you.